me about you.
My name is Leslie Griffin, and we are live in the great city of Detroit, Michigan. I have the awesome pleasure of sitting in person with relationship and life coach guru Paul Carrick Brunson. And he has just authored an amazing new book called It's Complicated, but It Does Not Have to Be. And let me tell you, this book is absolutely amazing. Paul, if you could just tell our readers how the inspiration behind the book and how everything got started.
I'm still tripping on the fact that you call me a guru. Like, what?
Well, let me change that. Oprah Winfrey has dubbed him as the life coach and relationship guru.
Yeah.
So thank you, Miss Winfrey.
I'd say amazing blessing, amazing
Yes.
blessing. Well, I'll tell you what, so this book is 2 years of work, but it dates back maybe about 5 years. And the book is about what I believe is the most critical skill set that we could have on this planet. And that is the ability to establish and also maintain a relationship.
Wow.
Whether that's platonic, romantic, or business. And this book is really 21 steps on how to do that.
Wow. So in just 3 days, your book went to the bestseller. And this is your first book.
It's the first book. It's a blessing.
How amazing is that?
I tell you what, I always say that, God will dream for you a bigger dream than you can ever imagine. And I didn't imagine that we would hit. I mean, we were on 3 bestsellers lists, within 4 days. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
That's awesome. Now, this particular book has taken a different approach in that it also includes men and women. And
Right.
a lot of relationship books just go right after the woman
Right.
to instruct her. Why did you decide to take that approach and be inclusive of everyone and not just the women?
Well, so here's the thing is that I always hear about women, right, saying that, hey, guys need self-help, self-development too. And guys will say they need self-help, self-development as well. I think about myself as a career professional before I was in finance, is that I would spend most of my time outside of work trying to develop my skills so I'd be better at work.
Okay.
So why would we not take that same concept to a relationship? Trying to be good in the relationship by self-developing. So this book is written for men and women. It's written for all ages. It's written for black, white, green, yellow. It's written for everybody.
Wow. And you talked about the book being in 21 steps. Can you kind of walk us through the first 3 steps on, what the book entails?
Sure. Well, the book really begins by saying that you have to really love yourself.
Okay.
And it sounds very cliche to say loving yourself. But when it's interesting, when I ask my clients, the first question I ask them is, do you love yourself? And there's a little test that I do to go through to figure that out. I find that 8 out of 10 truly don't. They truly, and to love yourself, and here's the thing is, do you feel like you can achieve your optimal self? So think about you being the best socially, the best professionally, the best in terms of your health and your physique. Do you believe that you're on the pathway to becoming that? If you don't, then you don't believe you can ever achieve your optimal self. You don't truly love yourself. And so I find that most people don't. So that's the first step.
Okay. And that's a very important step because a lot of people just want to get into a relationship and they want to just love someone else and they want to have that person love them back. But they're lacking.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
So that's very critical.
Yeah,
you gotta love yourself.
Gotta love yourself before you can give love to anyone else.
Absolutely.
And then next step is then you really have to know yourself. Do you know what your values are? Really? Do you know what your values are in priority? Do you know what your personality type is? You know what your deal breakers are? Do you know these things? So you know your relationship vitals. And then the next step is really you have to do things differently. If you go around doing the same thing and you expect a different result, what's that the definition of?
Insanity.
Insanity! That's right, it's crazy. And so that's really the key is that you have to do things differently. And the book really points out how to do things differently.
That's amazing. Now you have been backed by Oprah Winfrey herself. How did that connection come about? Because that just doesn't happen for everyone.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. This is what I say is that, so it came through social media.
Okay.
And I say that social media is changing the landscape of how we do business. And to everyone out there who is filming YouTube videos or has a blog and has a dream, keep doing it. Because that's how I started, I started on YouTube.
Okay.
And nobody was watching my YouTube videos. It might have been like 200-300 views we were getting. But it doesn't matter the quantity of the views. It's really about the quality.
Right.
And it turned out that the Oprah Winfrey Network was watching, the BBC, who are the producers, were watching, and they sent a message on Facebook to me. And before I knew it, I was in LA taking a meeting at the Oprah Winfrey office.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you also are the co-host of the Love Town on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Yes.
Can you tell our readers about that show?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is I don't even feel like it's a show. It's more like a project.
Okay.
But it's where myself, Oprah, and my another co-host, Kaylin Rosenberg, we go to a small town in Kingston, Georgia for 30 days, and we help them really understand what love is. Mm-hmm. Because the whole concept is if you can give love, you will realize love in your life. So, you know, if you are compassionate towards others, if you forgive others, you'll see that come back into your life.
And so these are just really basic, simple principles that have been captured in your book. Because a lot of couples complicate their relationships. And like you said, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
If you want love, give love. If you want to be understood, seek to understand.
Right.
If you want to be trusted, be trustworthy.
There you go. There you wrote my book. That's it. But yeah, it's, you know, it doesn't have to be complicated, but we oftentimes need to be reminded of how not to, or how to uncomplicate. And I think this book really does it. And what, you know, what's interesting is I dedicate this book to my son. Okay. And my son is only 2 years old. And the reason why I dedicate this to him is because I believe that when he's ready to date, whether that's at 9, 15, 18, I don't know when he's gonna be ready to date, but that this book will still be a tool for him. I think that there are rules in here that'll stand the test of time.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
And speaking of social media, how has social media changed the way we interact in relationships?
Oh,
because
wow.
there's no doubt it has changed. Do you think there's a negative connotation or positive? There's a kind of both. Can you blend it?
I mean, that's a really good question. Connotation-wise, absolutely, it's negative.
Okay.
Right. We know now 1 out of 5 divorces are citing Facebook as a reason for their divorce. And so we know that technology is playing a role. But what I say is technology can never be the bad guy. It's technology, it's a platform. We are the good guy or the bad guy. And so the key is that we have to be able to use technology appropriately. In the book, I talk about how to use technology and also how to protect yourself.
Okay.
It's very important. You know, there's a lot of people out there that the first thing they do is when they know your name, they Google you.
Okay.
Before you're even on the date.
Yes.
Yes.
And they pull up everything, your life history.
All your photos,
your grade school,
everything. Like before this, I Googled you.
Did you? Stop. Did you really?
No, I Googled you.
Oh my goodness.
I Googled you. I pulled up some photos.
So you saw the bigger Leslie.
I saw some things. I saw some things. But here's the thing. I saw good things. But I was able to track down many things that you've been connected to.
Okay.
Photos. I've seen videos. I've seen articles that you have been mentioned in. I've seen tweets, the whole tweet inventory. You know, your history. You know, every tweet that we put out is being chronicled, you know, and so it's very important that we're aware of what our digital profile is, what it looks like, because here's the thing, we spend so much time on, let me trim up my mustache and my beard, let me make sure my collar is straight, let me make sure I'm good physically, but are we doing that same thing digitally?
Right, and inwardly.
Yes, and inwardly too, but in terms of the digital is really important, so. Yeah.
So I've been Googled.
Yes.
By the great Carrick Brunson. I'm going to take that as a compliment. And how do we really apply these principles, and what makes principles in your book work?
Well, here's the thing is, all right, so the principles in my book are based out of 3 things. One, it's based out of the relationship I've had with my wife. I've been married for 12 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Secondly, it's based on all of the principles that I've learned from my clients. I've had over 400 clients, several marriages, and so I've been able to see what works and doesn't work.
Okay.
And then third is my background is really, I'm a researcher. I started in investment banking as a researcher. And so by researching, so I've researched, you know, for the last maybe 6 years, I've been researching the topic of love. And so I've taken all of those principles and I've distilled them down into 21 steps, if you will, 21 rules, and put them in the book.
How will this book change people's lives? Just if they pick it up and just read the first 5 pages. And again, it starts with loving yourself.
Oh, yeah.
If that doesn't change your life.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is that I would just say go on to Amazon and read some of the reviews already that people have been writing. I mean, people have been telling me that the book has changed their life. You know, we've had quotes from Oprah Winfrey to Lisa Ling to Dr. Drew, you know, to then the, you know, average, you know, guy on the street. And everyone is saying that the book is making them ask questions about their life to make them a better person. And ultimately, that's really what we need to be doing every day, is figuring out how we can become better people.
No doubt.
Yeah.
How has this book changed your life and your own relationship, be it with your wife, your son, your business relationships?
You know, that's a really good question, is that what I've learned through this book, and also through like the press and the business around it, is that I always better be walking my talk.
Absolutely.
I better be walking my talk. And that's what's the most important thing. And so, you know, little concepts, like in the book, we'll talk about how every day right now, I ask my wife, every day, fellas, every day, I say, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? And the reason, and it's so simple.
It's not complicated.
It's not complicated, but I'm telling you, you hit your wife, your girlfriend with that simple, what can I do for you? And you deliver on that. It shows that you are listening. It shows that you care. Very simple concept. So so whatever I'm writing, whatever I'm saying, I have to do in my own life.
Absolutely. What was a tough journey, or one of the toughest parts of this journey to getting this book to press? No doubt,
man.
You know, writing it for 2 years, you had some dark moments. Did you ever doubt? Were there some fears?
Well, all right, so the blessing was that I signed my book deal before the book was even completed, before the writing was completed.
Oh, wow,
so I knew that it was going to go to press. The hard part, quite honestly, has been in the business of it. You know, the entertainment space is no joke. You know
no doubt. I know that.
You know this is tough business. You know, even like right now, I mean, we've got somebody taking photos right here, you know, folks behind the camera, there's a lighting setup, there's all this, and all this costs money.
It does.
So then where's the money coming from? So then you're always consciously thinking about the business side, making sure that the expenses, and so long story short, the business of it has been the hardest part. And also, you know, like right now we're in Detroit. My wife and my son, they're in DC.
Okay.
I came from LA yesterday.
Okay.
Before that, I was in Sacramento. I mean, so I've been on this road show away from my home.
Okay.
That's been tough as well. So, you know, it's tough.
Well, you have everything to be proud of your accomplishments, and we're proud of you. But what are you specifically most proud of with this book, and just overall in what you've been able to achieve in these last 3 years, which has been huge. Yeah.
This is a great question. I've been interviewed by a lot of folks.
Okay.
This is the first time I've had this.
And Leslie Griffin.
Yes, Leslie has laid it on me with this question, and I want to really deliver, you know, a good answer on this. Is that, you know, I think what this is gonna sound as corny as all corny could sound, but I'm most proud of the fact that the people that love me are proud. You know, for my father and I have had this interesting relationship because I think so many, you know, boys want their father to be proud of them. You know, we all know that mom is always proud of us, no matter what. It's like, I moved this, my mom's like, oh, good job, you moved the book. And my father's like, oh, you moved the book. What's that? And so I think that because when I started matchmaking, you have to remember that everybody joked me. They were like, you're gonna be a matchmaker? Like what? You're gonna be a love guru? And so it was a good maybe year and a half, 2 years, folks were like, you know, they really joked me. And then over the last year and a half, things have been changing. And for my father to say, you know what, I'm proud of you, son. That's amazing. That's probably the coolest thing.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And what must men and women do now to be able just to sustain maybe even a dating relationship, even before you get to the courting? I mean, what can we do?
Well, you know, there's a lot of things, but I say the number one is surround yourself with good people. You know, that's, you know, I interviewed, when I was in LA, I interviewed a couple that's been together for 42 years.
Wow.
And the thing that they said that's kept them together, and there was a time that they kind of split up. They had tragedy in their life. And what got them back together and kept them together is being around good people. Okay. And when you talk to anyone who's successful in business, they always talk about, well, you know what? I've got a great team that I surround myself with. Absolutely. Is that I think that we sometimes don't put enough value in the people we spend our time with. And so get around good people and people that make you want to be a better person. Right. So I think that's it. And people that are happy for you, and people that respect your union, and people that want to see you make it. Right. And want to see you continue. Would you say? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, people that have your best interest. Everyone's not happy for you. No. A matter of fact, I say most people aren't.
Wow.
Most people are not, and so we have to really. And actually, I've got a chapter in here called "Your Friends Are Not Relationship Experts," and it's really about taking an evaluation of your friends and the relationships that they have, and thinking, okay, is this someone I need to be listening to, or just, you know, a friend at a distance?
It doesn't get any better than this. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are live in the great city of Detroit. I am sitting here with the Paul Carrick Brunson. Again, he has just written an amazing book. It's complicated, but it does not have to be. This book is for everyone who is in a relationship, who's just coming out of a relationship, or who wants to be in a relationship. You need to get this book. It will change your life.
Thank you. That was good.
Thank you so much for your time.
I love that. Really, get this book. It will change your life. That's beautiful.
That's because I'm Leslie Griffin.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.